Welcome, Gwen. I'm so excited to get to chat with you again today. For anyone that's maybe not familiar with you, how did your journey with yoga begin, and when did you help teaching other teachers with their business as well?
Hi, Adrienne. Thank you so much to have me on today. So, yes, the journey. I feel like everyone that is a yoga teacher has 1,000 lives. And if you don't know, and if you don't yet have 1,000 lives, you will soon probably have 1,000 lives because I feel that, yeah, we don't just become at 18 years old a yoga teacher and then just teach yoga classes and that's it. And so, yeah, as many other yoga teachers, like my journey started as teaching part-time on the side of my other full-time job. And then I had the opportunity to teach full-time, meaning quitting my other job for this, which I did. And I completely burned out. Also very cliche classic of that for me to have enough people per week, let's say, and have enough money as a yoga teacher, I need to teach sometimes 5 classes a day. And so that was a lot. And yeah, and so then I burned out because I could not have the time to practice. And so that was not the best call to teach that much. And so I stopped. And it's at this time that I reviewed entirely what I needed to do. And so instead of just completely stepping back, I started to only teach like one class a week, and then two, and then three, and then I actually stayed at three maximum. And so since probably 2016 to 2017, I teach like up to 3 classes a week maximum now. And I have, with the time, expanded my offers. And so at the beginning, what I did was, to just start to expand my offers and with workshops, retreats, YTTs. And it's during the YTTs that I started to see that yoga teachers had no idea how to start having a job or growing their own business or establishing a studio like I did. And so that's how also I started mentoring yoga teachers on the business side of what can we do to be authentic and do business, but in a way that is good for yoga teachers and not just for very salesy people, let's say.
What are the biggest mistakes that you've come across seeing, particularly yoga teachers or any sort of wellness professionals making with their online business and trying to make more money?
I think one of the big mistakes is to try to do exactly what you're doing in person online. And so let's say if you are a yoga teacher, which I think is mainly the people that are going to listen to us here, if you are a yoga teacher, you will first think, okay, how can I teach yoga online? And then you're thinking, if I need to teach a yoga class, am I going to have a membership? Do I do a class library? But those things now are not working anymore because it's not 2020, like where there was COVID, everyone was in lockdown and all of this stuff. This doesn't work anymore as a business model, except if you want to need to have 100 clients per month. We'll pay then this small low ticket offer, and you have to find all of those people that you don't know yet. And that's why it makes it so difficult. And so many yoga teachers are very much struggling because they're building this type of model thinking in person, people love when I do this, so I'm going to do the same online. But it's not the same people online. Or if someone buys something in person, they don't usually want it online. That's why they didn't buy it online. That's why they were doing it in person. So it's just completely different online and in person.
So what is working in the online space then?
So in the online space now, it is working to have multiple offers. It doesn't mean like 15, but you can have between 2 and 5 where each offers nourishes each other. So let's say you could have a little membership or a library of classes, but usually someone that doesn't know you is not going to jump in this. Yeah, because now there's so many famous membership or like you can do yoga for free on YouTube. Like, so this is more something for other people, for people that already know you And so you could have, let's say, an online course or even an online one-to-one program or an online retreat that solve a specific problem for someone. And then after that, they want to continue practicing yoga with you because you help them so much. Then you have the membership if you just wanted to have two offers. But now what works is to definitely solve a problem and having multiple offers.
And do these offers have to be solely online, or it sounds like because if you're offering retreats and things, is it better to have a mix of in-person and online offers?
Yeah, my client, honestly, like 90% of my clients have a hybrid business where they have offers in person and either they want to still teach yoga because they love teaching yoga. I love teaching yoga. That's why I still teach it. But they don't do it as the idea. This is how I'm going to make my money. You know, they do it because they love it. They want to keep teaching yoga. So they can still have in-person classes, or some of them specialize in something, right? So let's say if they had an online course on how to manage your premenstrual symptoms with yoga, nutrition, and some relaxation, let's say. Maybe they do some workshops in person in some studios about how with yoga you can ease your PMS. And so they could still have these specific workshops. It's not doing like starting to do imbalances and like all of the stuff. Your offers do need to be able to flow into each other. And so you can have offers in person and online and retreats, online retreats, in-person retreats, but they need to all make sense together.
And it sounds like from what you're saying, they also need to be very specific and sort of like a niche thing rather than I teach vinyasa yoga for flexibility and health or something. Like it's a little bit more
Exactly.
focused than that.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
doesn't work anymore, which is hard, honestly, as a yoga teacher, and I completely get it because when it was 2020 and I built up my offers online as a yoga teacher creating online courses, I was also like in the mindset of yeah, I'm just going to do what I was doing in person online, and then you just create courses, and I know that for some people it can take 6 months to create a course, you know. And then you put it out and you're like, okay, it's here now. And maybe you have like 5, 10 people that buy it because they know you and they already love working with you, like maybe in your classes. But after that, it's finished. You will not make other sales because this does not attract people that don't know you. And that's why like having a business model where you need new people to come in is very different than a business model where you don't need people to come in, new people. And if you have a workshop in person, let's say, that you're doing about PMS or let's say another specific one, then maybe you don't need to grow on social media because you're just going to sell your online course to those people. You know, that's also possible. So, but the idea is that they're all on the same topic.
Yeah. So you're creating a funnel system. So one thing that you're really focused on is helping people making 5K months so that they can actually transition into actually making a decent amount of money out of this. What are the 3 essential elements you do need to focus on if you're working on building this online part of the business that is going to help you to generate that 5K or more per month?
Yeah. So thinking about it, you know, and the question about the goal being like 5K, I want to first say that if your goal is to make 5K per month in the future, quickly or not quickly, I will say maybe dream a little bit bigger and you can put 10K, not to make it today, but so your business is set up to actually scale in the future. Because I can tell you that 100%, if you stay in your business, you pivot when you need to pivot, you are going to make the 5K. But then once you're there, you're probably going to have to reset your entire business model because you can't grow beyond the 5K because your aim was the 5K and then you're there. But you will be at 5K and then you will want 10 and then you will want more. You know, it's really how it works. it's an evolution when you grow your business. You want more money, you want more time for yourself. Like this is the same as the thousands of entrepreneurs I have helped so far. Everyone goes through the same process. And so, first of all, if you want 5, then aim for 10. If you want 10, aim for 20, and so on, just so you have a bit of a margin. The 3 main elements of your business that you need to focus on, and I think it's the same for absolutely any kind of income, to grow your income as a business. The first one is attraction, and that means like gaining new lead if you want. So new lead or new people, new eyeballs on your content. And this is really about how you're going to attract people. So for example, you have a podcast, so you can attract people with your podcast. Some people go full on onto social media, maybe an Instagram account, maybe a Facebook group, maybe they are on LinkedIn, maybe. So you have something to attract new people, and new people can spend time in this free container to start discovering your work, how you do, like who you are helping, and they can just stay there. But you need systems to attract. Then the second thing that we need is offers, right? So when someone comes in, if everything that they have to look at is only free stuff, then of course you're not going to make any money. Or if everything that they have to look at is $20, then you're going to make $20. They sold, they love it, you do the best content ever, they look at it. The only offers that they can click on is $20. The person is only going to be spending $20. Even if they finish it and they were like, that was amazing, they look, there is nothing else. So you will want to also have different offers that can be sold. And this is something you want to build over time, obviously. But you want, as soon as possible, when you create your business, to have an offer. And so maybe you create a quick thing, it's $20, it's specific, it's perfect for your ideal client, and it's there. But they can buy from you straight away when they follow you. Because people that actually want to improve, I don't know, even if it was their flexibility, they want to, or solve the PMS, like we were talking about, or like anything that they are searching for, they actually want a solution. Someone that is serious about solving a problem is not going to think, oh, I'm going to listen to this 5-minute meditation and my life is going to be completely solved. I will have no problems.
If only.
No, if only. So that's why we want to see like offers already being there, and we want irresistible offers. So it's something that our ideal client, when they're ready to buy and purchase something to solve their problem, then they look at it and yours is here. They follow you, they see your offer, and they can straight away go in it. Because you have people that are going to follow you for like 2-3 years and never buy from you. And then one day they buy from you. And I can tell you this because right now, when this is recorded, I'm launching something and I have at least 2 people that just joined, and they have been in my world for years. I think since I started my business. And I don't think they bought any of my program, but now they just bought one of my higher ticket program straight away after a few years, because it was the time for them. So we're not here neither to push, but I have some people that have just joined and they never followed me on social media. And then they just followed me, they just bought the offer, and it's a high ticket offer. So you don't want to be judging how people are going to behave and just have this ready, irresistible offers. So that's the second element of like what is important to go to 3K. And I think those offers, they also need to be built onto each other, like we were talking before. And that's what we say, an ecosystem of offers or suite of offers that flow into each other. Because if you just have one at $20, let's say, you cannot make 5K if you have like 500 people following you on Instagram. So except if you want to be an influencer, and you can totally be, but if you didn't want to be an influencer, to make 5K per month, you need to have a low ticket offer, mid ticket offer, and a higher priced offer. And the third element will be sell. Yeah, because as you get teacher, most probably we don't know how to sell. And that's normal, because we haven't learned. It's the same as when you learn how to teach yoga and you're like in your 200-hour training, and I see it every single time I teach a 200-hour, like the first time the student like that is going to be a new yoga teacher is coming to the mat for the first time and looking at everyone, looking at them, and starting to try to cue how to say what I want to say without maybe demonstrating. Or all of these things are skills that you didn't learn by watching a YouTube video for free. And it's the same when you're going to want to build a business with online offers, know how to present yourself, how to present your offers, sell them in a way that feels super good for you, where you're more inviting people than just pitching them. Then if you want this, you have to learn how to do it. And and that's a key element on knowing how to sell and how to market, because you can sell with live events, you can sell all year round, you can have evergreen funnel. Honestly, there are so many ways of selling, but you have to learn the one that you want to use for your business.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I like that you brought up there are so many ways, because some things will resonate more with others. And also that you said people could be in your ecosystem for a really long time before they buy. I've had that. One of my clients, it was a few months ago, she was like, "Oh my God, this person just joined up to the membership and they've been on my email list." It was years and they'd never shown any interest, but they always read her emails. And then finally, years later, they decided to sign up. So that was quite cool, but definitely does work like that. You mentioned that you don't have to be an influencer to make this work, but how big realistically, especially if you're working in an online space, does your audience need to be before you can hit those 5K numbers? No, there is a certain point where it is a little bit of a numbers game.
So what you have to first understand is that the average conversion rate for like a normal sale launch, will be around 2%. Like that's the low average, very low average, So if you think about it, it means that if you have 300 people in your audience, and when we say audience, we mean social media, emails, okay. Yeah. If you have 300 people and you want to create an online course at $250, you're going to make 6 sales, right? 2%, 6 sales. And if you make 6 of those sales, you're going to make 1,500 or something like this, right? From your first launch of your first course. So I think instead sometimes of thinking how many people do I need, we have to also go back into the percentage, and looking at the average, and we're not inventing anything anymore, for since a while, I think. And we can see already how it works for people, and people that begin that don't really have sales skills and a small audience are going to be around this 2% conversion rate.
Yeah, to sort of base that off there. And I would also add to that email is usually probably going to be slightly higher than maybe social media. I guess it averages out 2% when you add all of them in together. So you do want to try and connect with those people. It's going to help you increase that percentage as well. Is there any way before we make these grand offers, and before, like you mentioned earlier, it can take you 6 months to create a course, is there any way that we can kind of test which offers are going to land and get us that 2% with our audience before we actually invest all that time in creating it?
Yeah. So first of all, I never recommend to record your course before selling it. So you will actually never waste your time. And that's how you should sell any offer, anything. There is absolutely no point on starting to create something and record and edit and you actually don't know the people that are going to sign up to it. So you don't really know what they need, like you have an idea, but how many videos and how many things, like you don't know. And you don't even know if people want to buy it. For me, when I work with people that want to grow their business, like let's say yoga teachers, what we do is that any offer that they will want to create, they first sell it. And so we follow a very specific launch plan. And depending if it's like a $30 offer or $250 offer, we don't do the same length. of the launch, and then we see, is there sales? Yes, if there are some sales, then it's the time to create it. And that's why we're very clear also in the launch when it's like this, that let's say the modules are going to be dripped maybe once a week or once a month, like whatever it is that fits the person that is actually selling. And you already see the names of the people. And at the beginning, most of them, you know them and you're like, oh my God, like I would love to do a video on this for this person. It would go so well. And that's how you create an amazing course, is because you're actually creating content for the people that are inside and not just creating content and recording thousands of hours of videos. And then you put it for people and you're like, okay, here you go. And it's not exactly what they need. And sometimes I think like when we create a first online course, we don't know that. And so we tend to create a course like if we had 1,000 people ready to buy from us, you know? And honestly, if we are honest with us, we don't. Yeah. We don't. And
Especially if
so
you're starting.
exactly. So if you are starting, you won't have thousands of people ready to buy whatever you are offering, you know? And so the best is to pre-sell. And so do this strategy of first doing like a launch or pre-sale, like however we want to call it, it's the same. And then we will create the program or the online membership or whatever you're creating after. And it's funny because sometimes thinking about it, we are completely fine doing this with a retreat. You're completely fine, you know, selling a retreat. People are not at the retreat the next day, you know. And if no one signed up, you're not going to do your retreat. But for some reason, with an online course, we think that people are only going to buy if they're going to have access to it now. But I can tell you 100% no, because with all of the yoga teachers I work with, this is what they do and people buy. And that's also what I do for any of my offers. And that's exactly how it works. So you don't spend months creating something for nothing.
That's good advice. Is there anything you can do in regards to that? Because usually for a retreat, you might have like, to go forward, we need a minimum of 6 people or something, because you know that's your base to cover all your costs. I haven't seen people do that with courses. Does anyone ever do that with courses? Because you could do this launch and you get 2 people sign up and you're like, well, that was amazing, but that's still going to be too much work for those 2 people? Or would you just go ahead and make it and you know that you're making something amazing for those people that will be able to sell it again, if that makes sense?
Yeah. So for me, I prefer the one of like, let's do it, you know, and let's being in the mindset first of it's amazing. I had no business yesterday and now I just made 2 sales. And if you had your $250 course, let's say, you still made $500. And it's just the beginning of your business. Like, and I think sometimes we see online those big numbers of, oh, she made a 20K launch or I don't know, 8K launch or whatever. I just made 500. Yeah, but you don't know what they made maybe the first time. You don't know where they were. If it was their first course, you know, maybe they had a huge audience. Like we never have all of the details. And sometimes, you know, when I see numbers like this and I actually know the people, I know that the person, the students, the yoga teacher that did this program and maybe made a 20,000 in one launch, they took 3 other programs of 3 other persons before doing this one, you know? And so, yeah, sometimes we don't really have the context of how this happens. So I will say it's definitely your decision. What I say to my clients is that you can choose to refund the person. If you're like, yeah, that's not worth it, I don't want to do it. You can just refund them and say like, I'm sorry, there was only 2 people that signed up for the course, like I need this minimum, and then you move on, you know? You can also offer them something else, like maybe with your $250, like instead, let's do this, let's work 1 month together. I give you 1-to-1 or whatever, you know, you can also change. But the idea is that the idea that you add for your offer is already so good that you know that maybe right now only 2 people did buy, but you're going to sell so much of it after. You're going to grow your audience more, you're going to have new people coming in, and you know that this offer is perfect for the level of your audience, then you can still create it.
And talking about selling and all this marketing, that can be a bit overwhelming. Are there any particular styles of marketing strategies that you find work particularly well for yoga teachers, or is that very individual in terms of the type of content that they're creating to build their audience and sell their offers?
Yeah, so marketing strategies, it's funny because this word means so much and nothing, in a way. And I will say that what is important if you're just starting is to avoid feeling overwhelmed, because the more we go into overwhelm mode, the more it says to our body and our brain, I'm actually not capable of this. I'm taking too much on my plate. And if we are in this overwhelm stage, we are not actually holding it together and showing ourselves that this is possible. So to make it the less overwhelmed possible, I would say choose only one social media platform, being whatever it depends on where your audience is. So if the age is more on Facebook, and the age of people that you serve, go on Facebook. If they're on Instagram, go on Instagram, but also listen to what type of content do I like to share. For example, myself, there was no way that I started with Instagram. I did not start with Instagram. I did not want to create content this way. Like, this was not my thing years ago. Now I absolutely love Instagram, but not when I started. And so I created Facebook groups, and I had Facebook groups for my yoga courses with thousands of people in it. And for me, that's how I was doing my marketing. Loved it like this because it's not the same type of content. Now I don't like it so much. I prefer Instagram, but you evolve. But choose one platform, and ideally one platform that is not a social media, so that you own the content, like a podcast or a blog. That is, and because that's searchable. And I will say also YouTube. So YouTube, blog, podcast, those are searchable on Google. So I will say maybe have one of those if you can, and one social media. And then do not make it overwhelming, and have a simple marketing strategy. Honestly, you're not going to learn marketing by yourself. Like, this is 100% sure. So if you're listening to this, you either already in a program that teaches you how to sell your offers online, or it is something that you are going to have to move on towards. There are so many offers like this now, like so many. So I will say what is important is for you to start looking at what kind of help you want to have, because you're not going to have the same support in creating your online offer in $100 course, and I don't know, in a $1,000 course, and if they have a price difference, it's for something, right? And so it's really about you knowing, am I someone that I love to do everything myself? I'm not overwhelmed easily. I don't need like a step-by-step plan on every single thing I need to click on. Or do I need more support? I need someone to talk to. I need all of the things where to click on, like really going into it. And I'm going to have to learn how to do this. If not, I'm going to waste my time and I'm going to be overwhelmed until I actually have support.
Yeah, that's really good advice, because it's only so much you can do by Googling everything or YouTube University. But you could figure out a lot of things if you really like bootstrapping and you really like technical things, and you don't need to ask as many questions. It does work. I've learned heaps of things that way, but yeah, if you want someone that's going to guide you through things, it's a good idea to find the right person that's expert on that area, or hire someone as
Mm.
well if you have the means and funds to do that. That's always an option. One thing I wanted to ask you is that it's one thing to get to this like 5K month that we hear about, this magical 5K month, if you like, or 10K or 20, but then it's another thing to make it every month. So have you got any tips for client retention and really fostering a community in this space so that you can keep that consistent?
Mm. So I think the most important thing is what we actually talked about at the beginning, which is the ecosystem of offer. You can make a launch if you count how many people you have in your audience. You take 2% of this, let's say, and you do your sales plan and you make your 5K. But yeah, the next month they're not going to buy again, most probably, because You just sold it. So the idea, especially when we build momentum like this by making sales, you want to have something else to sell. And I think sometimes we might think, oh, this is overwhelming. Like I just planned now I need to create this course that I didn't create. She said I must not create my course before I sell it. So now I'm supposed to record this course while selling something else. So there are different ways of doing that. You can think about it in advance. And so already know that after launching this, you're going to have this pre-recorded thing that is going to be out. And this is like a lower ticket maybe option, or to sustain the month after, maybe you do a one-to-one program online. But you need to have different offers. And in this ecosystem of offers, not everything is sold on the front end of your business. So what I mean is that if I'm launching publicly, let's say this $250 course, the next month I might not sold publicly anything, but I might have an evergreen sales funnel that is set up to sell something that I already had. Maybe I already had a course, I already recorded an online workshop on something, and I'm going to have from a freebie with some emails to have people see the value of my product, and then they can automatically buy this without me actually have to actively sell it. So really the secret of keeping your income of, let's say, 5K consistent is to have an ecosystem of offer that can make you 5K per month. Because sometimes I hear people say, oh yeah, I want to make 5K per month. I'm like, okay, what are you selling? And they're selling things that with the price of it, they will never make 5K per month, which is completely fine. But then we have to change the offers that they have.
And what would you say to anyone that's listening to this that's maybe been doing it a little while and they feel like they are doing everything right and they're going in the right direction, but they're not seeing the results that they want?
So, and this is something that happens to at any stage of your business. You're going to feel at one point like, I'm doing all of the right thing. Like I've listened to those coaches. They say, do this, do this, do this. That's exactly what I do, but it's not working. And that's most probably because you're not actually taking the action of someone who is already making this amount of money. So the action that you do on a daily basis when you make, let's say, 5K month is not the same as when you make 1K month trying to make 5K. And so most probably the action that you are taking right now are not the one that actually lead to make 5K month. And you are focusing on things that are too surface level and that are not like very deep in your business. And especially like seeing the entire strategy of your business and just focusing on like, I need to create content. I need to do this, and so sometimes we feel, yes, on paper, we are ticking all of those boxes, but we are not taking the actions of someone that makes 5K month. And to understand this in a little bit more of a practical way, because it sounds, a bit like, okay, how I do it, we have to understand that growing a business is also changing our identity with time. And so changing our identity is important because it has nothing to do with your personality. Like no one asks you to change your personality, just so we are clear. But how you see yourself, being someone that makes 5K month, and the action that you're going to do after that are different. To give you an example, when I wake up in the morning, I'm not wondering, am I a mother? What will a mother do today? Like the same that will be, am I making 5K month? What will someone that make 5K month do? No. You wake up, you are a mom. And from your identity, the actions that go after that, and I'm sure you understand me very well on that, action that goes after that
I'm learning that.
are automatic. You're not going to ask yourself, am I going to feed my child today? Am I going to clean up those nappies today? Or whatever, you know that this is your identity, and from your identity, some actions are coming after that. And it's the same, like if you are someone that is growing a business that generates 5K month, and you don't have to think about it like, I'm making 5K months today. I'm creating a business that makes 5K months, what are the actions that I have to do today? And so really, instead of looking at, am I doing all of the right things? Looking at, who am I? Am I embodying like this person? And then I will know what a person like this should do. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. I like that. Speaking of embodying future versions of ourselves, is there any trends that you see in the yoga industry that we should be keeping an eye out and in this business for the future?
Yeah, I think something that is working very well at the moment, and I think that's going to keep going, is to have a hybrid model, like to have something in person and something online. And I know that some of my clients, they have all of their, let's say, yoga offerings online, but I do one retreat in person every year so they can meet all of the students, And that's beautiful. And some people do the opposite. They have all of their offers in person, but maybe they have no one for passive income and for people to continue being with them or membership. So really seeing that the trend, I think, is going into this direction of having something hybrid, and knowing that whatever you have online, it needs to be specific, solving a specific problem. And so you have to figure out, for you as a yoga teacher, if you want online offers, what is the problem I'm going to solve? And not what am I going to teach? Because what am I going to teach? This is not going to work. You have to think, who I want to help doing what? I would love to have, if you're a new mom, sometimes you want to have new mom, like because you realize all of your things, and you're like, oh my God, like if I knew this. And then you can go into this. Or maybe you have people that have certain injuries, heal, or maybe people that are stressed from work, relax before going home. Like there are so many things that you can help people with, but it needs to be specific.
That's good advice. And our final rapid fire question, if you could turn to yourself in the first year of becoming a business owner and an entrepreneur, what advice would you give?
I will say, don't give up. You cannot imagine what's coming your way. Like you cannot imagine how big your business is going to be. Just don't give up. You don't know what you don't know.
Thank you so much, Gwen. And I will include all of the links for all of your offers so people can connect with you more and learn more about the system and how you can help them and follow along. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Adrienne. It was so nice to chat about that.